Like I was saying, the Disney magazine, if you will, this year, the Disney Adventures magazine, like Marvel and Disney with their own comic books, when they would do comic book stories on Bonkers, sometimes they were a little short, sometimes they were different. The Disney Adventure ones, I think, did maybe what those comic book versions did, I'm not too sure. But what Disney Adventures did was they combined both series. I'm not lying. There was one comic book store, one Disney Adventures comic on Bonkers comic they did that had Bonkers, Miranda, Lucky, all teamed together as a unit, as they were basically a team. There was no different partners or anything, which was cool. I like that. Kind of like what you see here. They had that. And then this one, which I ironically had seen one time in Topeka, Kansas, there was this, I guess you could say this outlet store, sort of like a bargain store or something like that, off the highway. Me and my dad went into it one time, and I saw this issue. And I didn't have the money to get it at the time, but fortunately I looked on Amazon recently this year and was able to get it. Now this is basically an issue. This comic is basically, it's called Nose on the Run. Yeah, Nose on the Run. And basically what's cool about this is it's supposed to be set. In the Lucky continuity, but look who's in it. Fondier. And she ends up going on, basically she says yes to going on a date with Bonkers to the policeman's ball, which is kind of cool. So that's the one thing about the Disney Adventure, about the comic book versions, of Disney's comic book versions, especially the Disney Adventure comic book versions of Bonkers, is the fact that it was almost like one continuity and everybody was involved. Didn't matter if it was Lucky, teaming with Miranda and Bonkers or whatever. It was just all there. In fact, there's another one they did at an amusement park, and all the characters are basically animatronics there. Basically, animatronics represent who the characters are. So to me, that was really, really cool in its own right. Now, Bonkers, of course, like I said, got a video game on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, and I think on Game Gear as well. Both are the same title on SNES and Sega Genesis, and he got one, I think, on Sega CD, I believe, and one, I believe, on Game Gear called Wax Up. Now, all of them are basically a different kind of continuity in some ways, or a different storyline in some ways. But they're real fun to play. And they're all done by Capcom, of course. Now, for me, being a Bonkers fan, as you can see, I have it. As you can see, not only do I have the edited version of the pilot, this here I got for Christmas in 1994. Basically, when they started releasing these on VHS. I got that in 1994 for Christmas from my grandma in Kansas. My first Christmas there. Then, when the DVD recorders came out, I started to record Bonkers when it was on Toon Disney. Now, even before that, when I had a regular VCR, I dedicated one or two tapes, or I think 2 tapes or something like that, 2 6-hour tapes, I believe, to Bonkers. So I had a lot more episodes. I even recorded some Bonkers episodes when they were being aired on KSMO 62 back in 1994. In fact, one episode was Witness to the Prosecution. That tape is in Kansas. So I have to find a way to get it back someday. Or maybe somebody has the episode in English that I could find around here. But anyway, I even went as far as to record some of those episodes. And then, like I said, when DVD recorders became prominent, I started recording 6-hour DVDs of Bonkers right here. My plan, initially, like some of my other Disney shows that I was trying to record, or when they were on Toon Disney, was to do what I had done with VHS or VCR or VHS, and that's record 6 hours on each different disc until I had the complete series. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. Now, Here though, I have some other Bonkers DVDs. These here, this one here is called The Best of Bonkers. Now this middle one, which is The Best of Bonkers, even though it has the same front cover, has different back covers as well, as you can pretty much see. The back cover here actually indicates what's on this one here. And on here we have the Going Bonkers movie pilot, uncut. We have New Partners on the Block, one of my personal favorite episodes, Casa Bonkers, and of course a few fan vids that I did on Bonkers as well. And then, move this to the side here, we have this one called the Bonkers, which I dubbed Bonkers the Movie and New Partners on the Block. Basically, okay, you remember when Walt Disney Home Video brought out the Mighty Ducks, brought out the animated show The Mighty Ducks to VHS, and they called it Mighty Ducks the Movie, the first face-off? Well, basically, they not only did they add the two-part episode, the first face-off, which aired on ABC, of course, but they also added the episode Duck Hard as to sort of coincide as being part of the same story. Basically, even though in regular airings it was a different episode on its own, they decided that because this is where one of the human characters, mainly I think it was the captain, finally, takes a liking to the ducks and considers them allies, if you will. Considers them as allies, they decided to pair it up with the first face-off as one major story with James Belushi, I think James Belushi or something like that, doing the narrative, who voiced Phil Palmfeather, doing the narrative. I think John Belushi? It was James Belushi. I can't think. I get the names confused sometimes. But basically who voiced the character of Phil Palmfeather did the narrative for the VHS release, if you will. And that's why I got the idea for this. I figured, well, if they were going to do something like that with Bonkers, if they were to have done something like that with Bonkers, they would have taken this and done the same thing. But they didn't, so I decided, heck, I'm just going to do it myself, and that's it. And then, of course, you have the joke book, which was released by Golden Books. And I actually got this at a half-price bookstore, believe it or not. And again, this sort of combines both continuities, as you can see. And that was really fun there, because you basically got the continuity of both shows all together at once. And that's basically what the Disney Adventures Magazine comics did as well with Bonkers. They combined all the continuities. So, but to show that Bonkers has had a long, juvenated 20 years of fans, 20-year run, even if it's not on the air currently, but still being seen throughout other ways like YouTube and through iOffers and all that, and torrents. To say he's had a lengthy 20-year run is an understatement. I mean, there are still fans, even to this day, like one fan called Peach Blossom 26 or 28, that does fan fiction stories on Bonkers. There's people that dedicated a website called bonkersonline.com to this franchise. There's people that even through that website did a series called Bonkers 1999, which from what I understand has gone on to be one of the more acclaimed fan fiction stories based on a franchise in quite some time. A lot of people, from what I understand, a lot of people like it because it's good. It's good. It goes in directions you wouldn't expect. And that's why a lot of people look at Bonkers 1999 and they put it at that same level of, let's say, of Mice and Mayhem, and maybe even the current running season of Sonic Sat AM. They put it at that level, which is hard to believe. But 20 years is quite the run. There's no doubt about it. It's quite the run for the show, for this franchise and these characters. We can only hope Disney, even if it's through Disney Movie Club exclusives, finally releases the complete series on DVD and maybe by chance Blu-ray. But we just have to wait and see. But as a fan, hey, I've enjoyed being a fan of Bonkers and still enjoy being a fan of Bonkers. The proof is right in front of your face here. So, that's all I'm going to say. Let me know what you guys think. And again, check out places like bonkersonline.com. Check out Bonkers 1999. Go to YouTube. Whatever. Go to torrents. And if anybody knows about that extended song, the extended version of the theme song, let us know about that. Let me know about that. I would love to hear that version again. But that's all I'm going to say on it. I hope you guys enjoyed this two-part video. Look back at the past 20 years of Bonkers. And that's all I'm going to say. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. God bless. Take care. I'm going to sit down, maybe watch some of this right now. So take care, everybody. Peace out. God bless. And I'm out.